I just wanted to win absolutely everything.
The competitive thing was a real cutthroat business.
The surf industry pit us against each other.
All's fair in love and war, and we're at war.
You have to be a bit of an asshole to win.
Friendships, relationships, happiness. Is winning worth giving up those things?
Momentum Generation presented itself. I went to the bio, I'd heard about the movie, I went to the link, I looked at the trailer, I was like, I'm in. And the whole family sat around, we watched this movie, and at the end of it, man, we had cried, we had laughed, we'd been inspired. It was a real roller coaster, as corny as that sounds. So congratulations, thanks for coming in. I can't wait to dive in with you and talk about you and your friends and your story, and it's great to meet you at last.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
It's a total pleasure. So I suppose the first kind of place to start now is now the documentary is out. Have things kind of changed, Rob? Did it change your feelings about that whole time when you looked at it in the context of a sort of 90-minute sort of experience rather than having lived it up to that point?
Yeah, it was crazy, watching the movie for the first time. I think we all walked out of the little theater and we all hugged each other. We laughed, we cried, and I think we learned a lot about each other. Having lived it, it's like you kind of just go through it and you kind of move on and you push things aside and you bottle things up.
It's in process, you know what I mean? It's like you don't really sit down and reflect when you're in process.
No, exactly. So to actually go back and revisit these times and deal with stuff and kind of look back, it was very therapeutic, let's say.
Were there moments, Taylor, that you knew when everyone was watching the screening as it was finished that would come as a surprise to people in the crew?
Yeah, well, the whole process was, like we all learned on the way, and it was. I felt like we became closer at the end of it. I think just doing the interviews, it was an 8-hour interview, and I said a lot of things that I'm like, that could be used against me, and I'm going to come off looking bad. I'm going to hurt someone's feelings, and so I was stressed on that. And then watching the film, I was glad that everybody else went there and just was really real.
With age comes this sort of realization that look, we can live and learn, right?
Time heals. I agree with Taylor. The whole interview process was so heavy. And there wasn't one of us that walked out of that interview that didn't sleep that night thinking like, did I say something that's going to come back and bite me? And and it was radical. They could have spun words around and just done whatever they wanted, right?
We've got Taylor Steele and Rob Machado. We have Kelly Slater on FaceTime video right now in Hawaii. This is special. So I want to jump straight ahead in this conversation and talk about the Olympics. It's been something that's kind of been a hot topic amongst the surfing community for a long time about how it can become acknowledged in that regard. And now there's talk, right, of Tokyo and it's happening. Is that confirmed?
Yeah, Tokyo's confirmed, yeah.
It's confirmed. And it's going to be happening on a beach, right? Because then the debate was like, are we going to create a mechanical experience or are we going to go for the natural experience? And how do we do it if you're landlocked within an environment? So I wondered sort of like what your feelings are about, Tokyo coming up and this kind of milestone moment,
I think Kelly, you'd be great to talk about this. You've probably been closer than all of us put together to this whole program.
Somewhat, yeah. I think we are all aware of how long and hard Fernando Aguirre has worked on trying to get it in the Olympics. Fernando's the guy he runs the ISA, International Surfing Association, which governs sort of international amateur and professional events kind of together, pro-ams. And he's pushed for years and years to have it. I think his dream was to try and make it a reality for the 2016 Olympics in Rio, which just narrowly didn't happen, obviously. But going to Japan, I think, gosh, going to be an interesting one because the IOC and JOC have said that for sure it's going to be in the ocean in Chiba. I think it's Ichinomiya Beach. Rob and I have surfed competitions there a number of times.
Is it Olympic worthy?
I mean, it's tough. It could be tough. It could be a tough one. It wouldn't be my first choice in Japan. Look, I'm a little biased because I have created a wave pool, surf ramp, wave technology. So, it's hard for me to have an unbiased opinion. But I think going to Japan, where you don't know. You can't predict the waves and the swell at that time of year. It's really sort of the off season with the occasional storm is what it is.
So, Rob, you're still out here on the West Coast. Taylor, you're based down the East Coast now, the United States of America. Kelly, you're out in Hawaii right now, so we know who won today. As usual, out there getting ready to spend the day doing whatever you love to do.
You know, it's actually as cold as it gets here, and it's about 30-mile-an-hour wind nonstop. So you're not missing much.
So what do you do then? I mean, I know you're a busy guy and you have a lot of interests that surround your passion for surfing, and it's not just going out there and getting to the core of that passion. So what do you do on a day like today when the conditions are not in your favor?
Dude, I'm cleaning the garage.
We were talking before about some of the musicians who you know, obviously could hold their own and go out and at least socially surf with you guys and not, you know, make it annoying. Ben Harper is one, right? You could tick that box.
Yeah.
Ben's got skills.
I've never actually surfed with Ben.
I've surfed with Ben in Byron Bay. We were shooting a project. Was that Shelter? Yeah. And Ben joined us, and he loves to skate. I think he skates a little more than he surfs.
There it is. This is the thing I love to talk about with skateboarders and surfers, right? Is whenever you bring up the musicians who will tell you, "Oh no, I hold my own." You guys cannot lie. None of you guys have a lying bone in your body when it comes to your love, right? If I ask Kelly right now, Kelly, Eddie Vedder, is he like one of the best surfers on the planet?
Come on.
But he's a fun guy to surf with, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. Ben, Eddie, those guys, they love surfing, and I think that's really ultimately the thing that connects us all.
Yeah.
Obviously the music, but you know, there's a reason we've all sort of spent time together in a lot of wave-rich locations around the world.
That's been really cool to see one of your bros from back in the day who obviously didn't get to compete the way you guys did. Life took a different turn, but see him succeed and achieve things in his own way, you know?
Well, actually, I remember the first time he played, it was in like 97, 98. Jack showed up in France. He said, "Oh yeah, I wrote a couple songs." You know, and we're like, "All right, cool, play them, man." And he sat down and he played Flake. And he played Posters, and I have a recording of that actual moment.
Wow.
On a mini disc, and it was just ridiculous. Like, then every time he was around us, we would record anything he played, and we just started circulating these little tapes. And one of them, I had become friends with Ben Harper and JP Plunier, and I gave JP one of the Jack recordings. I'm like, "Dude, this is all I listen to, man. You got to hear this guy." And then the rest is kind of history. He ended up producing and putting that record out. I didn't realize it till after, probably years after that, what had really taken place. But at the time, it just felt really natural, you know, just here I was out surfing Pipeline with one of my best friends. The waves were amazing. We happened to be fighting for a world title. You know, here comes this wave. Kelly catches the first wave of the set, gets an amazing tube. He kicks out, and here I come on the next wave of the set, and Kelly's got his arms up, and
like, "You're killing it,
it's
bro."
Like, yeah. And it was kind of just naturally for me. I'm like, of course I want to high five my friend. That's the essence of surfing.
You're the only person who saw his face. You're the only one who can ever truly see what was going on behind the eyes.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, I think it was genuine. I think Kelly was just enjoying the moment of where we were. We had reached the pinnacle of our sport. And two good friends that have battled out since we were 12 years old. And here we are kind of pinching ourselves and high-fiving, really.